Hey, turkeys, this is Dan and Margie.
Hello.
We're the Gen-Xers. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Got my fake pipe, my fake hat.
It's a celebratory day. You guys made us celebrate today because we're at 2,000 subscribers.
2,000 plus.
2,000 plus, and you guys helped make it happen, and so we decided to give you this little show, this little thank you show.
Live show celebration.
Yeah.
We're not going to keep you too long. We know it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. We're big NBA fans. Nothing better than Game 7. But right now, it's just Stephen A. Smith yapping anyway. You're not missing nothing. Why not stay with us for the pre-show?
Yeah.
We'll tell you who's going to win. We've been predicting the NBA Finals for 30, 40 years now.
With
probably.
great accuracy. I think
yeah.
you can look back at our podcasts and see how very accurate
Look,
we've been.
Like Cat Williams, Margaret, I keep the receipts.
Okay.
Let's see here. Margie, the NBA Finals are going to start in under 2 hours between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. Who you got?
I got the Mavs in 6 games. Mr. Kyrie Irving is going to take home the MVP. He's been rock solid.
I got the Mavs in 7. I just think they've been maybe the best team in the NBA since the trade deadline. We're at the finals now. It's going to be the Thunder and Indiana.
I will give you my prediction, and it's my hope too, honestly. Okay. But I'm thinking Oklahoma's going to take it in 6.
I think that's a pretty good prediction. They're both deep teams, but Oklahoma's just better. We talked last week about how that's probably a young franchise or dynasty in the making.
Hopefully.
So I say Thunder in 5 or 6. I'll just say 5 just to be a hot take.
Oh yeah, right on the money.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't use this for your FanDuel account.
No.
Anything like that.
No.
That said, hon, who do you got tonight?
I still have Oklahoma. I'm still rooting for Oklahoma. It has been such a back and forth game. Like, it's literally anybody's game. So if you can tune in, if you like basketball, or maybe you've never tried to watch basketball, tonight would be the night to tune in because it is going to be an amazing game.
If you're an old school basketball fan and you haven't been watching this series, you're missing something. It's not quite 90s basketball, but it's been tough-nosed defense, gritty play. I'm going to flip-flop, I guess. I'm going to take Indiana on Oklahoma's court for Game 7. They've just shown too much grit. I think Oklahoma's probably overall more talented team. Indiana seems to want it more. Like, they've got some heart. That's for sure.
They really do. I mean, both teams really have heart, but yeah, Indiana's, I'm afraid to say because I dissed them earlier, but they do have a lot of heart. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see, though. We picked 2 different teams. This time, one of us is bound to get it right.
That's right.
But playoff schmayoffs, that's nothing. We've got 2,000 subscribers.
I know. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Again, thank you to all. If there's anybody watching and you've got any questions, you could put them in the comments. I got my little laptop over here. We're not too much of a fancy setup, but I should be able to see if you've got anything.
We might be able to, comment back real fast.
And I don't just mean about the show. I mean about life, quantum physics, anything.
Of course.
You know what I read today?
What?
Off topic. That if you're Generation X, you lost 6 IQ points to lead. Either from the air, breathing in the gas, or lead paint, or whatever. Imagine how smart we'd be.
Geniuses. Absolute geniuses.
Speaking of Gen X. Now that was a good transition, Marge.
I know. You've been working on those.
We started this channel about 3 years ago. We just kind of named it the Gen-Xers on a whim. We had to name it something.
Well, and we thought, we're Gen Xers. We're kind of coming at this from, our point of view, obviously. Mm-hmm. But a lot of our interest had a little bit of, to do with nostalgia, with some Gen Xery stuff. So, yeah, we thought the Gen Xers might be a good name.
Yeah. And overall, we just make videos and talk about the stuff we find interesting. And it's made it pretty hard for the YouTube algorithm, I'd say, because we do a wide variety of stuff.
Yeah.
Since we started doing the podcast again, like going live or whatever again, it seems better because if you go under the podcast listing, it expects a wide variety of topics, I guess.
Which is what we do.
But yeah, if one week you're watching a video about Eddie and the Cruisers, and the next week you're watching one about whether or not consciousness is fundamental to the fabric of the universe, you could be watching us.
Probably watching us, yeah.
Or you should be watching us.
Yeah.
But that said, like I said, we do have a lot of interest. We can't make videos about everything. We're a 2-people crew. That's it. I do all the editing, and we do the writing together and all of that good stuff. You put together most of the shows. Whatever. It's a lot of work for two people. We can't cover everything, like I said. So any interest you've got, like, we might as well do something everybody's going to like. So if you'd like to see us do a little bit more stuff on the weirder side of life, or more nostalgia, more science, more helpful stuff like saving for retirement. We've talked about that kind of thing before.
Or learning to cook with a microwave oven.
Oh, we definitely got some of those coming.
Yeah. So yeah, always leave comments and stuff for us. We take those seriously. We try to do what you guys like and mix it with stuff that we like and come up with something fun.
Yeah.
So you, speaking of editing, and you do a fantastic job editing, you have come up with a compilation of some of the clips that we find enjoyable and that we've had so much fun making for you guys to watch.
Yeah, little of our best of clips. Most of them are shorts because they were already clipped out for that. Here we go. Hope you like it.
Yeah. We were latchkey kids, left to roam feral in the lingering shadows of the Cold War, under the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. They don't really show the other function of the remote control, which was to also adjust the antenna and then do this and then go, here. We grew up with a sense of self-reliance, navigating the uncertainties of our time as we yearned for something more profound than the fleeting fun offered by 80s decadence.
In 7th grade, our band teacher for music appreciation said everyone bring in their favorite album and we'll listen to a song from it and we will talk about its artistic and musical merits. So I brought in the song For Everybody by Rowdy Piper. And he just spent the whole time talking about how that's not music. This is not my God!
Rowdy Piper?
Yeah.
You better bet it's music. We were the Reaganomics, the Sesame Street and MTV generation. And all of our heroes had turned out to be marketing schemes. Do you remember Highlights, the little magazine that you'd see every time you went to the...
I remember looking in envy as the richer kids read their highlights, cackling and smiling at my face as I sat there reading my rock that I'd picked up off the ground for free.
When we react to these, Grandpa. Despite the best efforts of Mr. Fred Rogers,
it's such a good feeling.
We were all starting to develop a profound sense of unease.
Emo bunny.
I was very poor growing up. There's no doubt about that. But
right.
I do believe I'd probably at least seen and smelt a highlight.
A tattered highlight blowing down.
Sometimes the richer kids would throw me their highlight scraps. Yeah, read this page.
Several days later.
You know what my highlight was? If I got dinner. That was a highlight.
It's not.
Food on the table.
That is not an actual highlight from you. Don't forget, too, the myriad of dangerous plays we played in the 80s. Abandoned houses.
Yeah.
Junkyards.
Sure.
What else?
I grew up in an old lead mining town, so throwing abandoned lead mines.
I distinctly remember, too, playing with my sister on our neighbor's tire mountain. That was fun.
Oh, I played on Tire Mountain or two.
Right.
Did I mention playing in the lead mines?
Yeah.
All right, lead affects your memory. Old Jiller.
Oh. Oh, a sensitive subject. Started out with high hopes for that movie. I walked in totally unsuspecting. It was one of those movies they showed in our gym in school.
First time I saw, it was in gym at school too. The class before Christmas break, they showed us that and where the red fern grows. And Merry Christmas. For people of a certain age, us, Gen-Xers, they wanted to introduce us to the concept of death early.
Right.
Get used to it. Now go on now, get.
Go on now, have your Christmas break.
It's your dog now,
Merry
Gen-X.
Christmas. Topic jar.
Very special episodes.
Oh. For those of you who don't know, we were inundated with very special episodes growing up. Those were the episodes of the regular sitcoms that we had, only they dealt with very heavy subject matter.
In lieu of parents, we had very special episodes.
Right. That's how we were raised. So what's your experience with very special episodes?
Well, I mean, they were very special, all right. You always knew they'd be depressing. I remember a Fat Albert one where they went to tour a prison. Some prisoner told Fat Albert he'd keep him warm in the winter and shade him in the summer or something.
He'll stop the drafts all winter, and in the summer he can give me shade.
Scarred me for life, bud. I didn't want to go to prison. Because I was fat. Is this man cheese? His hat, his kerchief, his cane, his boots. Is it all cheese?
I've always understood him to be so.
His eyes, his brain, his lungs that breathe the very breath. Cheese.
Yes. I think so. Yeah.
Why does he want people to eat it?
Don't sweet Charmin, don't sweet Charmin.
Charmin's doubly fluffy, doubly irresistible.
Don't sweet.
How in the world was a whole ass generation of 9 to 12-year-olds allowed to read Flowers in the Attic? I agree wholeheartedly with you.
Were our parents thinking about that, man? I even read it.
I read the whole series, and Cheese and Crackers, that is some crazy stuff.
Look,
it's some crazy stuff.
Trigger warning. They didn't have trigger warnings back then.
No, you have to, you just have to kind of dive in like as if you have to swim across cold, gray, stormy waters. It's crazy. Oh my. That is absolutely true. If you were in your car with the radio on for 15 minutes, you heard Phil Collins at least once.
He had 19 #1 hits every month for 36 months in a row. And we all knew that he had watched a man drown.
You were outside at night and there's you saw someone drowning.
What if you told me you were drowning?
And he let him drown.
I would not lend a hand. Yeah.
Look at those eyes. He's watching our souls drown right now. Looking right into the muddy waters.
No, I did like Phil Collins.
We are talking to Phil Collins's people.
He's really good.
None of it's true.
Conway Twitty had a voice as smooth as his name.
Conway Twitty.
It could melt butter and charm the socks off women across America.
Hello, Conway.
Hello, darling.
But beneath that velvety exterior and poofy hair lurked a hidden agenda to serenade the world about the joys of physical intimacy.
You want to love her with an easy touch.
If you flip through his songbook, you'll find a collection that could make even the toughest cowboy blush. From I'd Love to Lay You Down,
I'll come right out and tell you I just love to lay you down.
to tight-fitting jeans,
Saw right through her tight-fitting jeans.
to I'm Not Through Loving You Yet, which sounds as much like a threat as a promise, if you ask me.
No, I'm not through.
In 1973, Twitty released what would become his most controversial song, You've Never Been This Far Before. It's about exactly what it sounds like. And admittedly, Twitty being almost 40, when he released it, upped the creepy factor just a tad.
I can tell you've never been this far before.
Radio stations across the country banned the tune.
Bum, bum, bum.
The bans just added to the song's mystique.
Bum, bum, bum.
There was a lot more to Conway Twitty than just being a country music Casanova. He was a master storyteller who wrote some beautiful songs. When it came to the steamier side, he knew how to use suggestiveness to create atmosphere and draw the listener in. Behind the silky twang and suggestive lyrics was a man who truly loved his craft.
You down and softly whisper, pretty love word.
What's a pretty love word?
All of our movies was telling us, don't give up, bud. From Pretty in Pink to Some Kind of Wonderful, it was all about stalking that woman until she fell in love with you and you lived happily ever after. Holding
speaker.
your radio up.
Holding the radio up
Now-
outside the window.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but used to men and women thought that romantic. Or maybe I was just being lied to and I was a naive 15, 14-year-old.
No, I think that would have been considered romantic. I mean, I hope that was the slant of those movies. They weren't,
But I mean,
thrillers.
They were stalking those women, let's face it.
They were, yeah. I would say there were a lot of portrayals of near stalking to actual stalking behavior. Yes.
That's what we used to call love back in the 80s.
So sweet.
Stalk her till she loves you. What does the Fruit of the Loom logo look like? Now, I remember it like this.
The
but
cornucopia.
I think I remember remembering this one wrong. But I do remember it with the cornucopia for sure.
I remember it too.
100%.
Yes, 1,000%.
Wrong.
This
It's a collection of fruit. No cornucopia. I know that can't be right.
That's not right.
No.
Because I remember the ads when they would come out and wasn't somebody dressed like the cornucopia?
I don't know about that, but I've been
Remember the guys?
fascinated by a kid. By that picture.
Yeah.
Fascinated, I tell you. That's all I think about. That cornucopia.
The Fruit of the Loom logo.
Why do people keep sex Spock out? 2-minute trailer. 3 Spock sex clips.
Would you say they were sex clips, though?
Yeah.
Were
They were
they?
effing and essing. Ellen and H'ing.
Perhaps we should kiss.
That seems logical.
This is my picture of Captain James C. Kirk from Star Trek II, signed by William Shatner, gifted to me by my dear oldest friend, engraved. It has come to represent our friendship. We bonded over Star Trek. We went to the drive-in and saw Star Trek VI. We stood up on the roof of his car, reciting the final frontier speech with our hands over our hearts. It's all ruined now. Section 31 is ruined. Who is this for? It's not for people that have something like this, or Star Trek pictures, or like Star Trek. This audience doesn't exist, Margaret, that they're making this stuff for. This audience you're making it for, they're watching TikTok. They don't care about Star Trek or plots, or, which might be why this did not have a plot. Anyway, it's over. My memories of Star Trek is over. My love of Star Trek is over. My friendship is over. We're no longer friends, Glenn. I'm throwing this away! Dad!
Should children be actors?
No. They're not allowed to be lead miners, so why should they be allowed to be actors? Probably safer to be a lead miner.
You know, I was actually babysitting at like 11.
Were they plying you with cocaine?
No.
Big difference then.
I asked them to.
I've got all these comic books I bought with my dishwashing money in the 80s and 90s that they told me was going to be priceless by this time.
We're waiting.
No. Same with this Star Trek lunchbox full of baseball cards. I'd like to buy it for $400,000, which is what one article said we should have saved up for retirement.
The average retirement savings of Gen X households is about $150,000. Wow, that's far from the $1.5 million Americans say they need to retire comfortably.
I'm sure we got it.
Yeah,
everything must go.
The human brain may contain as much as a spoon's worth of microplastics. New research suggests. That's from the Smithsonian magazine. I've heard of the Smithsonian. That's legit.
Yeah, I believe that's legit as well. And let's demonstrate this point,
take a
shall
look at
we?
this.
Shall we, Dan? If you could you show our viewers what it looks like when there's
There you go.
a spoon's worth of plastic in my head? If we do not get a hold of this, guys,
Okay, turn that way if you would.
it's gonna turn to that.
This is what's going to be like 10 years. Everyone's going to have a spatula's worth of plastic in there.
Right. And how can I do a show like this? I'm going to be smacking Dan in the head. It's going to be all out of whack.
Conspiracy theorists. They faked the moon landing with CGI. CGI in 1983. Mm-hmm. Look, I love a good conspiracy theory just like anyone, but we landed on the moon.
Sure we did.
Rang like a bell. It's a megastructure. Hollow on the inside. Lizard people in it. Well, this is how they do it. They don't have to worry mushrooms. They know spores that live thousands of years, Margie. And they just keep going until life evolves into us.
Right.
And then we evolve into someone who hopefully doesn't kill the planet off, and we make a rocket ship, take them to Mars. By accident, probably. A spore just happens to get on the side of the ship. A million years from now on Mars, guess what? Here's some folks evolving up. We're going to fly on to Uranus. Whenever I would start to have anxiety, instead of trying to run from it, or think about something else, or to logic my way through it, or to argue with the thoughts I was having, I would just stop and feel the physical sensation of the anxiety attack. And all those thoughts would still be going on, and I would just do my best not to pay attention to them, and just feel that physical feeling. Let those thoughts turn down like an old-fashioned radio in another room or something. They're still bubbling back there and babbling. Pay them no mind. They're probably not even making any sense. Most of our thoughts don't make any sense. Aren't really even in our control. You focus on that feeling, and then before you even know it, it'll dissipate. It'll just pass through you like a radio wave, and then you could think about whatever it was that you think gave you the panic attack to begin with. All right, lots of good times, and we hope many more to come. We hope we're doing this for many years.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite things that you do on the channel?
On the old past stuff, I've really liked that. I like the fake documentaries we've done, like the Conway Twitty one, where we're just kind of poking, which are done with admiration too. We're not being mean, kind of just poking fun of how lewd some of the songs were. Yeah. Or the What's Wrong with Whipple one about Mr. Whipple, because it always just seems so weird to me that man was obsessed with toilet paper to that extent.
Right.
What happened in his past?
I don't know.
What traumatic thing happened to him with Charmin?
Deep. Something real deep.
I like the more serious ones we did, like the Gate video we just did has opened up a whole bunch of stuff for us that we're going to be doing in the future. And I like the, the kind of weirder stuff, Mandela effects, quantum physics, that kind of
stuff
thing.
Too. But one of my favorites has always been, and it's purely because of my enjoyment of it, are the disappointments of our youth. We do a segment where every once in a while we'll go watch a show or a movie from our youth. We'll watch it again and see if it holds up. And it's always fun to do. Sometimes they don't hold up. A lot of the time, sometimes they do. Yeah. But two of my favorites that we've done have been The Lost Boys and Better Off Dead. Were two of my favorites of those episodes.
I really like doing those too, because we get to watch a movie, or I would like to do some old shows too that we haven't watched in a long time, maybe some old cartoons or whatever. But yeah, and to see if they hold up or a disappointment for you.
Are they a disappointment of our youth?
Disappointments of our youth,
yeah,
as our title show goes.
So what do we have planned for the future of this channel, Dan?
Well, that compilation thing ended with me talking a little bit about anxiety. I still don't feel like I've ever explained that right. So I want to do a deeper thing on that. Like, there's a whole big story around my battle with anxiety I'd like to get into one of these days. Mm-hmm. We've got some more stuff down the avenue of that gate program and gateway tapes and that stranger side of life. I love doing the show weekly, the podcast. So who knows, just whatever comes up.
Yeah, please let us know if you guys have an idea for us in the future. If you'd like to chime in and see if we could, do some research on some topics for you, or maybe do another Disappointments of Our Youth, or something similar. Please leave a comment. We love to hear them, and we love to see you guys get involved in the show.
Do you have any dream projects?
Dream projects? No, I really haven't thought of any dream projects, but I'm gonna start thinking about some.
One of these days, but it's going to take a long time. I'm going to really have to get behind the wheel. I want to do a big deep dive into Battlestar Galactica, all-time favorite show.
Yeah,
but that's a long way in the future.
That's a great show. We've had a great time doing this show, and we're going to continue doing this show as long as we can. But we have unfortunately lost a member of our production team this year. Our lovely Mr. MarshMellingtons, who was our like and subscribe cat.
If you've ever seen our channel trailer, you know that Mr. MarshMellingtons jumps up onto my lap and we go, hey, it's our like and subscribe cat. For some reason, when we started going live or even just recording videos, he just liked to jump up on one of our laps, be part of the show, start meowing. So we just used him to remind you to like and subscribe, started calling him like and subscribe cat. He passed away this year. We miss him a lot, but he had a long, happy life.
Yeah, we had him
Great
for
cat.
over 15 years. Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, we loved him to death. And yeah, Dan has put together a little tribute to our Mr. Mailings.
Little tribute to MarshMellingtons, Mr. MarshMellingtons the Third Esquire, our like and subscribe cat.
Yes. You need to hit like and subscribe.
Yeah, do it for the sake of this cat.
Right.
Please. Please do it for this cat.
Yeah.
Mellings.
Mellings
Mr.
needs you.
MarshMellingtons. Only you can like and subscribe and make his day.
We love you, Mr. MarshMellingtons.
Yeah, we do miss you for sure. Really a great cat.
Yeah.
But all cats are great, come on. And dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Folks, that's the end of this show. Thursday, I hope you join us for the regular podcast, regular time, 6 p.m. We've got a follow-up to last week's Mandela Effect show. Margie, tell them what you found.
Breaking news. And join us this Thursday because there's going to be an update on our latest episode, which was about the Mandela Effect, and particularly about the Mandela Effect involving the bald eagle as the national bird of the United States. We have hardcore evidence, strong evidence to give to you.
Margie found strong, hardcore evidence. I found weak, circumstantial at best evidence. But we'll present it, see what you think.
Right.
Residual effects or something they call it, I think. I don't know. We will see. Otherwise, just going to be kind of a hodgepodge show on this Thursday. I probably got a few updates on some men's health things. Yeah, we've got the Mandela Effect thing. I don't know what all. We'll see.
Let's see.
We're still working on it.
Come with us. Come with us and see on Thursday. We'll see you guys then. And thank you again. Thank you again so much.
Thank you so much. 2,000 subscribers! Later, taters. Real quick.
We forgot.
When we got 1,000 subscribers, Margie made us this great championship belt. Today she put a 2 in front of it. With your help, we could put a 3 there. We could reach for the moon.
Or even more. A 4, a 5, an infinity.
When there's a 3 there, we'll do another live special. And when there's a 10,000, oh, you don't even want to know. It's going to be an extravaganza.
Yeah, it'll be like Cirque du Soleil.
I'm going to show you what's under this hat.
Oh, no.
I could be bald as an egg. I could have luxurious head of hair. Could have tentacles. You know. Now, goodbye.
All right, bye, guys.
Enjoy those NBA finals.
Yeah.